Valeriana in Clark Dictionary of Veterinary Medical. Valeriana officinalis. Valerinaceae. Huh? Tincture of the fresh root. Valeria officinalis is usually found in moist hedgerows or on the banks of ditches and streams. The peculiar fetid water of valerians is probably due to the presence of valerianic acid. It is especially agreeable to cats who become, as it were, intoxicated with it. Volatile oil of valerian seems not to exist naturally in the plant, but to be developed by the agency of water. Valeriana first appeared in homeopathic medicine in Staff's editions. The article on it was written by Frange, and Hahnemann and Staff were among the provers. When Frange wrote, it was the custom among ladies in Germany to take valerian almost as frequently as coffee. And to this practice, he attributed no little of the nervous suffering then prevalent. There is scarcely a drug, he says, which communicates its primary as well as secondary action to the organism with more intensity than valeriana. He instanced his own eye symptoms, which were both severe and remarkable, and of them he says that though he had never had any tendency to anything of the kind before, they were excited at intervals for 4 months afterwards, the cause being frequently unknown, showing the deep action of the organism. The many inveterate spasms of the stomach and abdomen, the incurable cases of hysteria and hypochondriasis, moral disturbances, passing from one extreme of emotion to another, from the highest joy to the deepest grief, from leniency, kindness, and mildness to grumbling, impatience, obstinacy, and quarrelsomeness, from a sinking of the vital forces accompanied by a painful craving for stimulants, to the greatest liveliness and extravagance, and vice versa. Tedious convalescence after nervous fevers, paralysis and contractions of the limbs, etc. These, in Frange's opinion, were much less owing to the original intensity of the disease than to the valeriana with which the patients had been dosed, and they were only saved from worse effects by the fact that valeriana was so frequently given in combination with one or more of its antidotes. Some notes by Frange are important. Number 1, the first and most rapid effect of valeriana, which precedes any after symptoms, is an acceleration of the pulse and congestion of the head. Number 2, the symptoms of the upper and lower limbs alternate frequently. Number 3, the principal time of the day of valeriana produces its symptoms are noon and early afternoon, and the hours before midnight. The abdominal symptoms especially are felt in the evening. Number 4, valeriana causes several kinds of darting, tearing pains which come and go. Similar to these pains are those which appear suddenly. If we compare with these two kinds of pains, the jerking pains, which are scarcely felt in any other than muscular tissues, and the cramping pains, we have a very easy and natural indication of the grounds on which Tissot's recommendation of valeriana for epilepsy might be considered valid. The eye symptoms of Frange were burning, smarting, and pressure in the margins of the lids, which seemed sore and swollen. But in addition was this, which shows the exalted state of sensorium valeriana can produce. Shine before the eyes in the dark. The closed dark room seemed to be filled with the shine of twilight, so that he imagined he distinguished the objects in the same, This was accompanied with a sensation as if he felt that things were near him, even when not looking at them. On looking, he perceived that the things were really there at 10 p.m., 13 hours after the door. Dose తీసుకున్న 13 గంటల తర్వాత. There were also hallucinations of hearing and of sense. Imagines she is someone else and moves to the edge of the bed to make room was removed in one case. Anxious, hypochondriac feeling as if the objects around him had been taken from him. The room appears to him desolate, as does not feel at home in the room. He is compelled to leave it, as if in a dream. The restlessness of Valeriana is very prominent feature. Nervous irritation, cannot keep still, tearings, cramps, ameliorated morning, constant heat and uneasiness. The digestion is disturbed. The taste caused by Valeriana is as disgusting as its odor. Before dinner, a taste of fetid tallow. Early in the morning, on waking, the taste is flat, slimy. Nausea begins in the umbilical region, rising into pharynx. In the preface to his pocketbook, Boynning-Husson gives a case which brings out many of the Valeriana characteristics. EN50 of blooming, almost florid complexion, usually cheerful, but during his most violent paroxysms inclined to outbreaks of anger, which with decided nervous excitement had suffered for 4 months with a peculiar violent kind of pain in the right leg and after the previous dispersion, allopathically, of a so-called rheumatic pain in the right orbit by external remedies which could not be found out. This last pain attacked the muscle of the posterior part of the leg, especially from calf to heel, but did not involve the knee or ankle joint. The pain itself be described as extremely acute, cramping, jerking, tearing, frequently interrupted by stitches extending from within outward. But in the morning hours, when the pain was generally more endurable, it was a dull burrowing with a bruised feeling. The pain became aggravated towards evening and during rest, especially after previous motion, while sitting and standing, particularly if he did it during a walk in the open air. While walking, the pain often jumped from the right calf to the left upper arm. If he put his hand into his coat pocket or his breast and kept the arm quiet, but it was ameliorated while using the arm, and then the pain suddenly jumped back into the right calf. The greatest relief was experienced while walking up and down the room and rubbing the affected part. The concomitant symptoms were sleeplessness before midnight, frequently recurring attacks during the evening of sudden flashes of heat with thirst without previous chill, a disgusting fatty taste in the mouth with nausea in the throat, and an almost constant pressing pain in the lower part of the chest and pit of the stomach, as if something were there forcing itself outward. Of course, Valeriana was the remedy. Valeriana has a strong affinity for the tendo Achilles, as I have cured with it many cases of painful affection of this tendon and heel when Valeriana conditions were present. Nash cured with it a severe case of sciatica in a pregnant woman on the symptom pain aggravated by standing and letting the foot rest on the floor. She could stand with the foot resting on a chair or lie down in comfort. Valeriana is a leading member of the group of remedies which meet lack of reaction. It is suited to hysterical women who have taken too much chamomilla tea. Number 2, nervous, irritable, hysterical subjects in whom the intellectual faculties predominate and who suffer from hysteria and neuralgia. It meets nervous affections occurring in excitable temperaments. In hypochondriasis, it claims the nervousness, abates the excitement of the circulation, removes the wakefulness, promotes sleep, and induces a sensation of quietude and comfort. Sadness is removed in globus in all asthmatical and hysterical coughs, nervous palpitation of the heart, profuse flow of limpid urine, quoted by Herring. Red parts become white is another indication of Herring. Among sensations are as if flying in the air, as if ice would be pierced from within outward, as if smoke in ice, as if a thread were hanging down the throat, as if something forcing a passage through pit of the stomach, as if something warm were rising from the stomach, as if something pressed out in lower chest, as from cold or overlifting pain in loins, as if he had strained left lumbar region, as if an electric shock through humerus, as if through thigh would break, as if strained in right ankle, as if bruised in outer malleolus of right foot, lightness in leg, like lead in limbs. The symptoms are aggravated by touch, blisters on cheek and lip. Rubbing ameliorates cramp in cough. Pressure of hand or covering with hat causes icy coldness on vertex. Early decubitus in typhoid. Slight injury causes spasms. Rest, sitting, standing aggravate. Motion ameliorates. Moving eyes aggravate headache. Bending neck back aggravates pain in occiput. Straightening out limb aggravates sciatica, aggravated at noon. Aggravated before midnight, cannot sleep before midnight. Profuse sweat at night, aggravated open air. Draught of air, ameliorated after sleep, aggravated by fasting, ameliorated after a meal. Causation, injuries, slight injury causes spasms. Bed sores, form soon in typhoid. So this is for today. स्वस्ति प्रजाभ्यः परिपालयन्तां न्याय्येन मार्गेण महीं महेशाः गोब्राह्मणेभ्यः शुभमस्तु नित्यं लोकाः समस्ताः सुखिनो भवन्तु लोकाः समस्ताः सुखिनो भवन्तु लोकाः समस्ताः सुखिनो भवन्तु ॐ शान्ति 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 वासुदेव वासुदेव वासुदेव